Well, welcome everyone. This is the Farmer Cop Podcast, episode 4. It's me, Farmer Cop, and
Thomas.
or T, as you know him. Turn it. You said your name.
That's
all right.
That's
I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah. Hey, somebody might care.
Why is it? I don't think anyone cares if you say it or don't say it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
I think
people
people
don't
are.
care about my name.
No, they don't care about you. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, he's just the other guy.
It's just the other guy. No, they care about you.
Well, thanks for the warm introduction.
Yep. We're off to a great start. But yeah, welcome to the Farmer Cop Podcast. Let us know again down in the comments or message me on either Facebook or email me what you want to see in the future episodes of the podcast, what you want us to talk about, stuff like that. It can be police stuff, real farming stuff, stuff like that. Thomas here has experience growing up on a farm. And, well, I'm a police officer, so there's my police experience. So I can talk about that.
You have legit experience. I've experienced being a child.
Hey, that's good experience. That's good experience. You can find us on Spotify, and you should be able to find us on any platform that has podcasts on it. We have over how many downloads do we have on? That's actually something I want to check. I'm curious how many downloads we have so far. I'm gonna refresh this. We have a total of 107 total downloads.
Wow.
For our podcast, it's pretty good. I'll take that. And we got a lot of views on YouTube. We're usually getting between 500 to 1,000, somewhere in that range every week. So I'll take it. I will take it.
I won't.
You won't accept it?
Yeah, you guys need to do better.
Okay, so
You're not watching the podcast twice.
And we're not downloading it 6 times. We're watching it twice. Gosh. Oh gosh, that's the rare moment you just had. We just had right there. I just want to acknowledge the moment that just occurred because they couldn't see it. We were silent for a few seconds there because we both were drinking coffee at the same time.
Don't you have a catchphrase after you drink coffee, Farmer Cop?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a catchphrase.
Oh, that's your catchphrase.
Oh gosh. Normally I'll be like drinking coffee when I mean, if I get up in the morning, like on my weekends to record or before work or whatever, usually the first things I do for the day is if they release like new maps on ModHub,
Yeah.
I'll do a map tour and upload it because that's like the new thing that's going on in the farm sim world. Mm-hmm. And so typically I'll be like trying to wake up still. So like I'll be drinking my first cup of coffee while I record that. So I'll be like talking for a while, then all of a sudden I'll just take like a couple seconds. There'll be a few seconds of silence here and there as I'm drinking coffee, and I'll say, "Sorry, I just grabbed a quick cup." I mean, I talk about how I drank coffee probably more on the map tours than I do about the map. But anyhow, it's pretty funny.
Do you always apologize after you take a sip?
Usually I do, or at least I mention what I was doing. Like, sorry guys, just grabbing a quick sip of coffee here, or whatever. I don't know what to do.
I think you should just be more vocal with your sips.
Yeah.
We want full engagement here.
Right. I'll just make it sound more pronounced and stuff. There's no silence.
Nobody would watch anymore.
They probably still would. Be fine. They're a loyal audience. Speaking of loyal audiences, we are over. I figured we'd just give you guys this update for Farmer Cop for where the subs are at, because it's been a good kind of like documentation as it comes out every week. We're at 74,000 subs when we recorded the last episode. We're now at 74,800 subs on Farmer Cop, so we're almost to 75,000.
Probably going to be accurate to when this is uploaded.
Yeah, pretty close to 75,000 once it's uploaded, because we're over 74,800 now. But yeah. We have a lot of comments from you guys on the podcast, which we'll jump over to that. And then we actually have, so just kind of an outline of what we got today. I've got an announcement about something today that some of you will probably already know about because I've mentioned it to a few of you or I've mentioned on a few live streams so far. And then I have we'll go over some comments. I'll mention something. Then there's actually quite a bit of stuff going on in the farm sim world, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We got a crime of the week. We might talk a little bit about some real world farming. And then we have a noteworthy police call. We can go over.
Last week was plunger branding, right?
Yes, last week was the plunger branding from the person
was desperate for the police to come unclog their toilet.
Yes.
So something in line with that.
Yeah, something as exciting as that, I'm sure. But yeah, let's go over some comments from you guys. So Iceberg said, "Love listening to you guys. T reminds me so much of what it was like for me growing up on the family farm as well. So many stories come to mind, just like what you mentioned."
Yeah, I mean, even as I've been doing this podcast with you, I'm remembering things. Also, if you had a lot of experience like me, I think what I remember most fondly are the really hard work stories. Yeah, and I'll get more into that later. But
that's because they stick with you.
That's awesome.
The hard, long days. But yeah, Then Bank Sinatra, who is longtime member and channel supporter, said that he had Heelys. We talked about Heelys last week.
Yeah.
The little shoe deals that had the wheels in them.
Those were awesome.
Yeah.
I hated when they got pebbles stuck in them because then you have to like physically remove the wheel to get the pebble out.
I remember my friends like doing that when they get them stuck in theirs because I never had them. I felt left out.
There were a couple. You didn't have Heelys?
I never had Heelys.
Would you like me to get you some Heelys?
That's probably a form of child abuse. I probably should report that. If you don't get your parents to buy Heelys.
Especially in what, like early 2000s?
Yeah, that'll be our...
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Probably was.
Mom! I need them.
All my friends have them.
That's okay. You saved yourself a lot of face plants.
That's probably true. Oh, I couldn't afford to lose any more brain cells hitting my head on the ground, so it's probably worked out for the better. But
have you ever gotten a concussion?
No, I've never had one.
Wow.
Never had one. I've done pretty good as far as that goes. I've never broken a bone. Knock on. Is this real wood? I don't think
it's particle, probably.
Well, I'm screwed now. I'm gonna break my bone getting out of this chair now.
I think the nearest wood thing is.
Oh, this is wood. My windowsill.
There you go.
Real wood. All right, we're good. Woo! Phew. Thank goodness. That was close. But yeah, Bank said I had Heelys, the white ones, twisted my ankle so many times. I can't afford that. I've twisted my ankle so many times, like as an adult. I've probably twisted one of my ankles 4 or 5 times.
Are you kidding?
The last time was
the same one?
The same one. Last time was at work. I was in training and I was on light duty for a month.
Light duty?
Yep.
Oh, is that where you have to get like escorted? Like,
no.
Caravan
no,
places?
thank goodness. Gosh. Gosh, I would have threw me.
Was
no,
that because of your cut that you had to like...
Oh, my finger?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, so I'll talk about that now. We got going on that. But I went on light duty for. It was really funny actually. So I have a really funny light duty story. So I'm one of the most proactive officers in my department, and so I went on light duty because I twisted my ankle. So I was on light duty for a month. So I didn't work patrol for a month. So they assigned me to detectives, which was the worst. I hated working a detective because you're just doing paperwork, like meaningless investigating.
Well, that's what you would have been
paperwork.
doing anyway, right?
No, I would be not doing that.
Did you say meaningless paperwork?
Yeah, so yeah. Well, I mean, not all of it's meaningless, I guess, but... I mean,
all you detectives out there, it's a hollow job.
Well, they kept all the cool, fun stuff because that's their job.
Oh, that makes sense.
They just had me do all, like, the meaningless background stuff that saved them time.
Yeah.
So it made sense. But I hated it. I hated every moment of it.
They're probably thankful for that.
They are?
They probably were.
They probably were, yeah.
It's like, great, we can...
And then the detective sergeant assigned me a 12-year-old cold case that...
12?
It wasn't anything... Well, it was kind of a big deal. Someone had embezzled like $10,000 from the place they were working at as the bookkeeper.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how... And it wasn't my fault. I just want to clarify this there. But this is like a 10 or 12-year-old cold case, and I'm looking at it, and I literally told my sergeant, like, Sarge, we know the suspect and we're aware of the crime. We're past the statute of limitations. So even if we put this all together into a case, we still can't prosecute anyone. I was like, why are we still looking at this? So he's like, I just think he gave it to me to keep me busy, which was... So he gave me literally this like big like paper box like you get like if you ordered 75 million reams of paper.
Oh my goodness.
Just filled with financial records. And there's just random stuff highlighted. And I'm just like looking at it, I'm like, I don't know what this means. I'm like, we need like an accountant to look at this. And I'm trying to look at all these financial records. So I took it up to the conference room, to one of our conference rooms, and I just laid it all out on the table. And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, I literally have no idea.
It's very TBS.
I have no idea. I was like, I have no idea I don't know how to read these financial records. There's random stuff highlighted, and there's little sticky notes with notes like, look at this. And I'm like, look, I'm looking at it, and I don't know what's going on.
Look at it.
So anyhow, I spent a week working on that. That was just a waste of my time.
You did your job perfect.
But I was thankful that I was able to not use sick time, and I was still able to collect my full paycheck and go to work. So I was thankful, because they don't have to give you light duty.
There you go.
They don't have to give you light duty. You can have to go home.
Because of a twisted ankle, they don't have to.
Yeah. Well, just any injury, but I guess the state would have reimbursed me since that was a line of duty injury. But anyhow, regardless of that, where's I going with that? Oh my! So
at the more recently one.
Yeah, they made the more recent one.
This was not a line of duty injury.
This was not a line of duty injury. But no, so going back to the month that I was off of work, after I got done, my chief came up to me the month after that, because it was like the month of December. And he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, are you doing okay?" He's like, "You weren't working patrol this last month, were you?" I was like, "No, I was on light duty." And he goes, "Oh, phew." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Our traffic stop numbers were way down." So like all the arrest stats and all the traffic stop stats were way down because I hadn't been working patrol. So he was worried that something was wrong. I was like, "No." It was so funny. He was like, "Yeah, all the numbers were way down." And I was like, "Yeah," it was really funny. But it was like, yeah, it was like I stop so many cars and make so many arrests that when I don't do that for a month, it statistically makes that month an anomaly.
It just fits your personality. You're just such a busy person.
I know it. I am. I just can't not do stuff.
That's true.
Yep. But anyhow, oops, sorry.
Oh,
I bumped into you. Thank you. But yeah,
Touch my foot.
We're squeezed in here next to each other on one bike. Oh, and then my more recent injury, I had a cut on my finger that I had to have like glued shut. And of course it was my trigger finger. So my trigger finger is like in a brace so it's straight. And I was like, I can pull the trigger with my middle finger, but so I wasn't allowed to carry I was allowed to carry my gun. They didn't take my gun away from me. I would have protested if they did that, but they didn't take my gun away from me, but I wasn't allowed to like leave the station and do any policing.
Yep.
Without like another officer with me. So like even if I wanted to like run somewhere to get lunch,
yeah,
another police officer had to drive me to this place to get lunch. And my friends would just make fun of me and they'd do it because they didn't care. They're like, "Oh, your finger, ha!" I don't know. They just made fun of me, but it's fine. That's just how we are. But
I really like the prospect of you having to go with one of your coworkers. Can I please have some coffee?
I literally had to do that. Like, one morning I was like, "Can you take me to a coffee shop? I'll buy you coffee. Please take me to coffee." Please. They're like, ha ha ha, and then they took me.
You have some weird coworkers.
They didn't laugh like that, but they laughed like normal people. But that's my rendition of them. But anyhow, so yeah, I had to get driven everywhere, and like I wanted to go, like yeah, it was just obnoxious.
It sounds obnoxious.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. But yeah, just the worst.
I just can't believe it.
I can't believe I need help. Gosh darn it.
With your finger injury.
But anyhow, back to comments. So that's what we go. We go on tangents, and that's where it goes, guys. So hopefully you guys are all about tangents, because this podcast is built on them. That's for sure.
It really is. It's the foundation.
It's the foundation.
We were still talking about Heelys. I went on that.
Yes.
Banks. Who is the guy's name?
Bank Sinatra is his like full YouTube name.
Oh, Bank Sinatra.
We just call him Banks, so.
Bank Sinatra gave us $9.99 super thanks.
Thank you for that, Banks.
Thank you so much.
Banks has donated so much to this channel over the couple years that it's been going. So thank you for that, Banks. I appreciate that.
Does he get tax deductions for that?
I don't know. Banks, do you get tax deductions? That's all just a scheme? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm donating out of generosity.
Banks is like, I make too much money, I must get the tax deductions.
We accept it anyway.
Yes, we don't care. Tax deduction or not, we'll take it.
Thank you.
But yes, thank you, Banks, again for all your support and generosity towards the podcast now and the channel in general. So big thank you to Banks. Banks has become a good friend as we've been going through the channel or doing the channel, and has been a big part of the community. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know you, but appreciate it.
But now you know him. Forever. No, just kidding.
Forever friends. Can I read the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Should I read the next one or the next one?
You can read the next one.
Okay.
And then we'll do, or you can do all of them for all I care. I'll take a break.
All right, great. Raccoon Peddler.
What a name.
Is that illegal in the state of Washington?
I don't know, probably.
We get you for something.
How dare you peddle raccoons here?
Don't you be peddling raccoons. The Raccoon Peddler says, still absolutely loving this. I can hear that you are having an absolute blast doing these. Your stories are always interesting, and I love your chemistry. I hope people will like these enough so you guys can keep them coming. Hey, me too. Also, I do think we have good chemistry, Farmer.
I do agree with that. I think we feed off each other fairly well. Which is perfect.
Eating off each other's humor all the time. Yeah. We're like an unstoppable force.
Unstoppable force of entertainment. Oh, gosh.
That was like one of the first things that I thought. I was like, man, me and this guy, we have great chemistry.
Yep. Great chemistry.
And that's why people think that we look the same.
Yep. We get
mistaken for each other a lot.
They haven't seen us yet.
Honestly, we could be mistaken for brothers.
We could be. It's pretty funny. There's it's rarely that they call me Thomas. They always call you my name.
Yeah. I always get mistaken for Farmer Cop.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat of an insult.
That's fair. I can't argue with it.
I don't know how. I'll let you guys figure that out. But
Yeah, we'll let you guys figure that out. Now that we mentioned that, when we finally show, like, we do our faces on it and get the actual setup going, you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we see it now. Yeah.
yeah, I used to have glasses that were more similar to yours.
I'm glad you got rid of those.
Yeah,
It helps separate
It really
us.
helps it out a little bit.
You having a mustache also helps.
I know
too.
adopting some facial hair
Yep.
really separates.
You're only growing it out to look different.
It really is all about that. I just have my identity is tied up in not being Farmer Cop.
right. Just not.
One of my favorite mistaken mishaps with this though is that once when Farmer Cop was working in our city, he coincidentally pulled over somebody that we both know.
This is such a good story.
And then I saw them later in the week, and they had come over from a different city. And I asked...
Well, it was, just to set it up a little bit better for you guys, it was our friend, it was a friend of ours that went to church with us. He was driving around. His mom had come into town to visit. And it was his mom that I pulled over.
Yes.
He knew us very well, so he wouldn't have confused us.
That's a good point. This makes more sense.
Yeah, that's how it makes more sense. But she was driving, and she had never met me before except on that traffic stop. And then I saw her again later that week as well, but Thomas saw her first.
Yes. So Farmer Cop pulled her over. He recognized our friend in the passenger seat. He's like, hey. And she thought she was in trouble. She was stressed out about
Yeah, she was stressed out about it. I didn't give her a ticket or anything, obviously.
Yeah. But she remembered your face, at least partially.
Yep.
And so this is a mutual friend of ours. I go and see this mutual friend of ours, and I also have not yet met his mom. And I know that she drove over to our city from a fair distance. And so I ask her, oh, how was your drive over? And she thought that I was Farmer Cop and I was being super passive aggressive. It's like, oh, nice driving, Nimrod. Like commenting earlier on that. And so she goes up to her son, I think, and it's like, why would he make that comment? It's like, I didn't get ticketed. He didn't do anything. I thought it was okay. And our friend's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? It's like, him. He pulled me over earlier. It's like, oh no, that was Thomas, not Farmer Cop.
That is by far one of my favorite mistaken stories. Oh gosh, that's too good. It all just lined up perfect.
It really did.
Yeah, and you just happened to just say the wrong thing.
I know, exactly the wrong
not
thing.
knowing anything that had
The
happened.
perfect tone of voice, like, oh, how was your drive over?
Did you drive safe?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite stories. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we have good chemistry, Raccoon Peddler.
Yeah, thank you for the comment, Raccoon Peddler, as
Thank
well.
you.
I want to thank you for that, and thank you for everyone that's commenting. We'll try to read a lot of the comments on here as well.
But you know us, we can't stop talking.
No, yeah, we just can't shut up. So
It's
yeah, it's a
that
curse,
we had
really.
to create a podcast to just kind of blab out.
Yeah, this is actually just more for us to get it out. It's
like
less
a
for you
pressure
guys.
relief.
Yeah, it's a pressure relief. There's just so much talk.
That mic probably didn't pick that up.
Probably not. It probably said no. I took the noise gate off. It's good.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can make it all up. Yeah, we can
Oh,
make any
yeah.
noises we want to make, and it'll pick them up. People were like, "Please stop making noises. Please stop." But yeah, so thank you, Raccoon Peddler, again for that, and hopefully that story was as entertaining to you. I know it's more funny for us because we were there and part of it, but hopefully it's still funny to you guys. Our next comment was from Skyview, Ireland. Said, yes, love the first one. Such a niche genre, but the only one of its kind. So thank you for that. It is a very niche genre, that's for sure. We literally talk about nothing of any substantial value, but it's all there.
It's true.
Yeah.
But the name matches.
Yep.
Honestly, Farmer Cop podcasts. This is Cop. I'm Farmer. Kinda.
Yep. It all
makes
works
sense
out.
in my mind.
Yep.
You know, especially with the
Farmer
logo.
Cop podcast. Yep.
I love that logo.
I do love that logo too.
It's a great logo.
I never designed it. That was someone just sent it to me and said, "Hey, do you like this?" I said, "Absolutely."
Yeah,
And they're
that's
like,
mine.
they're like, "Oh yeah, you can use it." They said, yeah, they're like, it was like a scam. Like, if you give us $4,000, we'll let you use it. It's like, oh gosh, I love it too much. No, thankfully they didn't do that. They sent it over. They worked a long time on it, but I was really cool logo. I can't remember who made it now at the top of my head, but they did a fantastic job. So, yeah, you want to read the next one?
Yeah. Which one's next? Skyview, Ireland.
No, we just read that one.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
CNS. Moving on. CNS gaming. Does that mean like Cassandra and Steve?
I don't think so.
What
I don't know
about
what CNS
computer and science
That could be.
gaming?
CNS, now you gotta leave
CNS.
another comment.
No,
It's not
The
CNS.
door is wide open, CNS. I'm gonna make all kinds of assumptions about whoever you two are. These are so funny. I used to have Heelys in elementary school. Hey, that's when I had them too. Mine were like black and red and white, and it was like back in the day when skater shoes were just the thickest walled things ever. So it's basically clown shoes.
Yep.
Because you get like a skinny kid who's really tall, and you just have these massive
Platform shoes.
platform puffy skater shoes that have wheels in them. And so you're just walking around as this tiny skinny kid going clip clop, if you're not healing, if you're not actively being a nerd in a different way and skating on your shoes, they're just going clip clop. I think it was escalated by the fact that my mom often made my own clothes for me. Like, my parents were super frugal. I mean, arguably it was for a very good reason, because they were able to save up enough for me to go to college.
Yeah.
Like, they paid for my college. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, that's
but
awesome.
I had elastic waistband pants that were made of beige cloth. There were just 2 tubes sewn together and didn't go down far enough.
Oh, God.
So they were above the ankles. And I always combed my hair, and I always tucked my shirt in elementary school.
Perfect.
So I was this farmer kid, nerdy little guy who had like these. It was just a very clashing look.
We need to picture this now.
You get like Steve Urkel, but then skater shoes at the bottom.
Steve
You
Urkel skater team. Perfect. Well, it makes you feel any better. My friends literally called me Steve Urkel, because that's what I looked like in middle school.
Oh my goodness, this chemistry just goes deeper, XD.
We realized
Were we bullied in the same way? Just leading up to this moment of like, yeah, we got a podcast now.
Yeah, take that, bully.
Take that, bully.
I'm sure they're listening. Oh gosh, that's too funny. Oh man.
Probably because I went to city school. They did not go to county school, unlike all the other farmers.
There was a county school?
Yeah, I don't know. I was a city kid, but I commuted to the farm. So I was. That explains the clashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve
worlds collide.
Urkel with skate shoes.
2 worlds collide.
The producer's me and you.
Yeah,
The farmer-verse.
Farmer versus urban kid.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the multiverse, like the farmer-verse.
Farmerverse, the Farmerverse. No, I don't know enough about Marvel to reference the multiverse. The next one, I really like cheese. Left in our comments said, for the crime of the week, would it be unknowingly if you didn't know it was a bus stop?
Oh, this is a really far back. That was like
That was last
episode
week.
2. Was it?
No, that was last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
The first week we did gross misdemeanors.
You didn't know it was a bus stop.
That might be farther back. I can't remember now.
What?
We're on episode 4. What did we do last week?
Last week we did.
I don't remember.
We don't.
All right.
have
Well,
the
don't worry.
We don't have the previous show notes.
To make sure that we find out, while you guys are on the podcast with us, we're going to listen to the entire episode 3 to see what that one was. No, I'm just kidding. You're like, no, please.
Just to drive up our feet.
just to drive. Yes. No, we don't. Most of this podcast is us listening to last week's podcast. No, just kidding.
Oh gosh.
But anyhow, that's a good question.
If you didn't know it was a bus stop,
How would you not know?
Because this was like destroying or like
You could do like anything. Spitting was
spitting.
illegal at the bus stop because it's a transit station.
If you didn't know it was a bus stop. I thought this was my normal spitting spot. I didn't realize there was a bus stop here. Else I wouldn't have done it.
You're just like on this like there's like just a pole, the sign's falling off, and you don't know it's zoned bus stop, and you're just spitting. The cop's like, gotcha! Oh no, no!
I thought this was a non-bus stop spit spot.
I always spit near this pole. Not anymore, criminal.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a good question.
You want to read that one from MTGT from Dirt Farmer?
Dirt Farmer. Another amazing podcast. pretty new sub, so I don't know you had ties to Montana. Yeah, he's got ties to the Montana FIA.
I have a bunch of ropes tied up over there. That's how I got tied.
He's actually leashed to the
I'm
trees
leashed
there.
to, yeah, there's just a leash that goes from Montana back to my house here in Washington.
I work on my grandpa's farm in Montana, so I really enjoyed hearing some of your family story. I'm sorry to hear he's not with us anymore. Would love to hear some more stories about him in the future. This is interesting because this is addressed to you and talking to you. Yeah, I read it.
It just worked out that way. Maybe I should have read this one. I didn't read it ahead of time.
Do you have any comments, Farmer Cop?
MTG Deer Charmer. Well.
Your name's too hard.
It's literally 4 letters.
MTGT.
MTGT. From now on, we're gonna call you Das Farmer.
Das.
But anyhow, MTGT Dirt Farmer. Thank you for this comment. 'Cause I know you left a really good comment. He was the one that made the comment last week that was like his only complaint was that we weren't long enough. That was the comment he made in the first episode.
Was that an hour-long podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was doing a 14-hour...
A 14-hour. You were driving a tractor, was my, if I remember, or a harvester, one of the two. But you were out doing work, and you were listening to it, and you thought it was great. So thank you again for another comment. And, yeah, I do have some ties to Montana. My grandparents had a, well, they still have it. They have a 150 acres in Montana, and they raised horses for a while. And I helped them out with that in the summers when I was growing up. Not anything like your family farm experience. We didn't grow anything. I just helped occasionally take care of the horses.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. But anyhow, but yeah. So I appreciate the comment, and yeah, I'm sure I could come up with some good stories there. I remember riding on the back. My grandpa had this old, like, gosh, what brand was it? Like a farm haul or something tractor, with the fork on the front. They moved like round bales around for feeding the horses and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so I, as like a 13 and 14-year-old kid, he had like these like really heavy like metal grates like on the back because he needed to weigh down the tractor.
Yeah, counterweights.
So yeah, he just put a bunch of that on there to weigh it down, and then I would stand on the back of this tractor while he just bopped around and just be bouncing back there. So he'd drive around, he'd drive out to where the bales were in this like area they had, like the set aside area, and they'd be sitting on pallets to keep them off the ground. And he'd pick up the bale, and then my job was to hop off, run around, pick up the pallets, and stack the pallets so they're out of the way so you can get to the next bale if you needed to. And then I'd hop back on and you drive around, and then I'd hop out, grab the gates for him and all that. And
yeah.
That was my job. So I almost got ran over a few times, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's part of every kid's growing up.
It really is. That is really part of the farming experience.
It's just trying to avoid. You learn real quick that you don't get in front of the tractor. But yeah, so yeah, and you can read that part of it. His comment.
The dispatch discussion part was absolutely hilarious. LOL. Another very entertaining podcast, guys. Keep it up. Thank you. We will.
Even if we have 12 of you watching, we enjoy it enough that we'll just keep going. So
it's true. Yeah. Can you imagine if our audience completely
just drops?
We might.
It doesn't increase at all.
We might hesitate to put out the exact same content.
Yeah,
I think there might be some podcast reformation.
Yeah,
at that point.
If that's the case, I think once we get, it'll be more popular once we actually get the legit setup going, and we have like we can do like emoji 911.
Yeah,
people are gonna love that because that's gonna.
I can't wait for you to.
And then we can have people leave comments with their emojis, and we can try to figure out what they're trying to record.
Yes, this is great.
That'll be fun. I'm excited about that. But yeah, so thank you, MTGT. Thank you, Dirt Farmer. I can't do it fast. Trevor Herning left a comment, says, easy way to understand how much... here's a comment about Mr. Bushel.
Oh, a definition.
Yeah, easy way to understand how much a bushel is just think of a bag of dog food or feed. 1 bushel of corn equals 60 pounds, so a bushel is roughly a 60-pound bag.
Wow.
So there's a bushel.
Outline, 60-pound bags.
I wonder how Robert Bushel came up with that measurement.
I know, right? Maybe he was feeding his dog.
Now Trevor's going to leave an archive. He's like, no. He's like, there's no Robert Bushel.
No. Clearly, Trevor Herning.
He must be like cousins with Robert Bushel.
You think so?
Yeah, to have that kind of knowledge?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, who else would know that a bushel is 60-pound bag?
No one else in the world knows that. There's no one else that knows that. It's not common knowledge.
Well, thank you for that. A 60-pound bag is
That's pretty large.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd call that a bushel.
Yeah. 1,000 bushels is
If I was Robert
60,000
Bushel,
pounds.
I'd call that my name. I'd say,
Yeah.
this is a.
Maybe that's like how much Robert could lift. He could just lift a 60-pound bag. The bushel. Ugh.
What if we just made units equivalent to our strength?
Ooh, there we go. But
That'd
then
be great. So
yeah, how many times do you measure it? Do you have to calibrate it because it's going to change every year? Probably. Yeah, every year you got to calibrate. Turn it. I'm only.
it's probably
56 pounds
let's
this
say
year.
it's like a 1 week average.
A 1 week average.
Mhm.
We could do that. Yeah. That'd be good.
You have to do a 1 day interval for rest day.
Right.
So you're
Sunday.
probably making gains
Probably.
at that point.
Yeah. So the more we work out, the bigger our unit gets
Exactly.
for the
farmer
bushel,
cop
the
unit.
farmer cop unit.
There.
Yes, one. We got 30 farmer cops off this field. Yours would make sense. We said 30 T's.
30 T's.
Yeah.
That's a T.
They'd be like tons. Yes, that's how much Thomas can lift. Is a ton. He's very strengthly like
Very
that.
straight.
Very strengthly. He has very many strengths.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, the good news is, guys, we have one more comment left to read, and we're already halfway done. So that's
It's true. We're almost there.
so it goes.
Are we gonna do all the comments every time?
No,
Like as soon as we're getting like 1,000 comments.
I didn't even
it's
do
like-
all the comments this time.
That's fair.
I just grabbed my
The lucky
favorites.
few.
The lucky few. I just grabbed a few of them.
Okay. Easy claps.
Yeah, this is all you. This is all you.
I know this is a day late, but I kind of do want to hear a poop joke every podcast. Well, thank you, Easy Claps.
Easy Claps is your number one fan. It
It's
sounds like.
really easy to come up with them because I'm a child.
Perfect. Well, those are comments from our viewers. All right, we'll talk about some of this stuff here before we get too far. We might not even do a crime of the week. We'll see how much time we have.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's wait. Oh yeah, your announcement. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I
you're
don't
good.
interrupt.
No, you're good. Just kidding. So one of
She is like, hello.
hello.
This is
It wouldn't
my
go
real
deeper.
voice.
It would go higher. Hello, couple announcements. No,
Here we go.
so I know I've mentioned this on a couple of live streams. I don't think I've mentioned it on the podcast before yet. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I have not. But I will be starting a coffee company hopefully soon. The name of the coffee company I finally come up with is probably going to be called First Responder Coffee. The premise behind it is, so obviously we're going to have, I've kind of done a lot of research into it. This isn't just something I'm starting off a whim. I've been researching it for about a month now, and looking into different options of doing this. So the coffee is going to be high quality. So I'm going to be sourcing some very high quality coffee to sell. I'll put my label on. Obviously I'm not roasting the coffee myself. I don't have a coffee roaster here or anything like that. Excuse me. Maybe in the future at some point if the coffee company was successful, but the premise behind it is going to be a portion of the profit or proceeds from the company is going to go towards programs for first responders. And we'll start with doing first responders in the United States as far as the programs go, but hopefully we can branch out from there. For my international community, you should still be able to buy the coffee. It should still be able to be shipped around the world. The shipping, it might just cost a little bit more to ship at different places, but in the US, you should be just fine. I don't know prices or anything like that. Or timeline, but there'll be some different first responder themed coffees regarding like police, fire, and EMS and stuff. Yep, creative roast.
Like dark crime, light crime.
light crime.
And I drink a little bit of light crime in the morning.
I figured there could
Can you
be
imagine how cool you would be if
Oh,
you
yeah.
said that? My favorite brew is crime.
It's crime. This is lots of crime. But anyhow, that's my official announcement on here that's coming at some point. More details to come with that. Farm sim stuff. Let's talk about some farm sim stuff. There's a lot of farm sim stuff that happened this week. So first off, as far as new maps coming out, there's still more and more maps coming out as time progresses. Since we've last been on here, they've come out with the Big Bud for Farming Simulator 22. Which is fantastic. They also came out with a lightsaber.
What?
Which you can use to chop trees down in the game. And it makes a lightsaber noise like Star Wars.
That is the most necessary thing.
Right, yeah, it's extremely necessary.
I needed that
very-
in my life.
It's very cool. They also came out with the easy development controls, which a lot of you guys have used that before, but That's a very useful mod for PC players to help us get a lot of stuff done. What else? We had a few maps come out since I'm trying to think since we last spoke with you guys.
There's a Waldstatten Family Crest thing. What was that?
Oh, over this thing?
Waldstetten.
That's a map.
That's a map?
Yeah, it's a map that came out.
Ooh, it's beautiful.
This
is this like the Swiss Alps or something?
Where is it based out of?
Welcome to Waldstetten.
Somewhere in Germany.
A wonderfully designed area. Somewhere in Germany. What, is it real somewhere in Germany?
Nope, fictitious.
It's a fictitious Germany.
Yep, fictitious Germany. It's from fake Germany.
Discount Germany.
Germany doesn't exist. It's all fictitious.
No.
But anyhow, and then Yas came out with the liftable bales pack. So if you use the balers in that pack, even console player, like allows you to lift the bales that come out of these balers.
Because you're so strong.
No, it defies physics. These balers, yeah, you can't lift them normally in game. But with this mod, all platforms are able to lift the bales because the balers, if you use the special balers in this mod pack, it makes all the bales way less. It's magic.
It's magic. He's doing a lot of quotation marks, everybody.
Yeah, I know.
He was doing so many quotation
Everything's
marks.
in quotes.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Impossible. Defies physics.
And then Yas also came out with the mobile wood sell point. So like normally if you cut trees down and stuff, you have to obviously haul them somewhere to sell.
Yeah.
This thing you can move around and sell trees wherever. We'll sell logs that you've cut down wherever.
You can just sell them wherever?
Yeah.
What is that a real thing? Mobile wood sell point?
Yeah. This is I know you don't understand the game this much. This is revolutionary.
This has actually got to be magic though.
Yeah. Well, it's just does
it just absorb the tree? It's like
yeah,
and you get a ding. It's like,
I got the money. Yep.
Wow.
It's just magic. Because normally you take it to a sell point, the sell point absorbs it. But now this absorbs it. So
absorbs.
And you can move this wherever.
That's great. I would love that.
So that's pretty fantastic.
See, that's why games are fun.
Yep. Because you can do just whatever.
Because every task becomes more efficient.
Yep.
Having an efficient system is great.
And then the really cool map came out, the Western Wilds by Alien Jim.
Is that just...
It's just mostly blank space. There's trees on it here. But you can kind of customize the map. So there's the way that Alien Jim does his maps, there's different... I wonder if there's a picture of it. One of them
This looks like the Midwest. It's so flat.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But no, there'll be like you can't see him on there, but there'll be signposts on his maps that if you chop them down with the chainsaw, certain things will get removed from the map. So you can kind of customize it. So like there'll be one sign will say if you cut this sign down, it removes all the trees from the map. So if you didn't want the trees on the map, you can cut that down, and all the trees will go away. There's another one for rocks. There's another one for power poles. There's another one for the river in the middle of the map. So you can cut all these different signs, and then basically the map can change.
It can be a flat.
Yeah, it can be a flat nothing if you want it to be. And there's actually hidden gold nuggets on the map as well.
What?
And if you find them, you get money.
That makes sense.
Right, that makes sense.
If you find a gold nugget, you get an extra tooth.
But it's pretty cool. So Alien Jim does some fantastic work. Most of you guys know him from his work on No Man's Land, but he does some fantastic work. So that was a pretty good mod there. So far, it's rated pretty good. It's got a lot of people that have downloaded it. That map tour did really well as well. I think that map tour is pushing 7,000 or 8,000 views now, which is a lot for a map tour. But yeah, nice. What else did we have come out?
How many mods were released actually?
Oh,
at least.
We think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of 4, so 24 on a page. Probably since we last recorded, probably 7 or 8 pages, so 24.
Wow.
Well, some of them were updates, to be fair. So I didn't say update; they updated their mod, but that's a lot that came out.
There's just so much to get caught up on if you play this game.
Oh yeah. And some people do daily mod reviews and review every single mod, which is just a lot. It's just too much.
I can't do that.
I can't do it.
My work schedule cannot.
I could not do. I used to do daily mod reviews, and let me tell you, it was exhausting.
A night vision goggle.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness.
The
farmer never sleeps.
The farmer never sleeps. So if you need to do some night vision farming, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, Mantrid released the Lizard personal lighting mod. And by the way, Lizard is just, that's like the in-game brand. So like if you don't have a brand for it, because they can't just use whatever brand. So only certain brands are allowed in the game, right?
Yeah.
So Lizard is the one that Giants came up with.
That's the fictitious.
The fictitious brand that doesn't actually exist.
Got it.
But yeah, so Mantrid came with that. So that's pretty sweet.
Very
you can
nice.
have some. You can do some night vision farming now. See the cows over there. The distance, but oh,
Covert farming.
Covert farming. You just spy on your neighbor farmers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of the mods. Let me go back a little bit further because I feel like I missed something here. It's been a while since we've done this, so I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything big that happened. But I'm trying to think. Nope, all this stuff is. This looks like a lot of the stuff got updated because they came out with that. Remember that game-breaking update that Giants came out with?
Yeah, the eco farming thing.
Yeah, when precision farming came out. Yep. So that kind of broke the game a little bit. Yeah, that's all the mods that appear to be relevant. There's a lot of cool mods in there, but that's about what we'll talk about for
that's super duper. Do they have any other Star Wars themed mods? Could you do farming on the Death Star?
And they released that on May the 4th. The lightsaber mod.
Oh,
that's okay. They do that. They do that
sense.
with Farming Simulator 19 as well. So it's pretty cool they do that. Just like on 4th of July too, they release like a fireworks mod or something like that. Or
that's awesome.
They do so that's pretty cool. I like that. Someone will come up with it and they work with Giants to get it released on those days specifically, which is pretty sweet. I like that. And then we have FarmCon was announced. So let me I'm gonna go over Discord here.
Which is it's just a farming convention.
Yep. Farming convention.
How many actual farmers do you think actually come here think it's a real life farming thing? It's like, what is going on?
Well, to be fair, I've never been to a FarmCon in person because of COVID and everything, and I haven't had I've always thought it'd be fun to go to one before I did this, but now that I actually do YouTubing for my side job, it's it makes sense to go. I can justify going.
Yep.
But they'll actually even if you're a real farmer and you went there, you wouldn't understand any of the presentations, but they have real tractors and stuff in a convention center usually and stuff like that. So you go check out tractors and talk to brands and stuff
That's
like that.
sweet. That's awesome.
So I'm super excited. It was announced, so July 21st is the International Online Kickoff, and July 23rd and 24th is an on-site convention. Now, I do have those days off of work, so I took that whole week off of work. I am going to try to attend in person. We don't know where it's at yet. I'm assuming it's probably going to be in Germany, because that's where the company is, that's where where it has been in the past, and that's kind of where they're based out of. I think they're technically based out of Switzerland, but anyhow,
Both of those countries are my favorite.
They're both your favorite?
They're both my favorite.
Well, perfect.
My favorite out of all the European countries that I've been to.
That's fair. I've been to a lot of different ones, and I do enjoy Germany quite a bit. So hopefully I can go to that in person. I don't know what any of the travel requirements are, or any of the travel restrictions, or any of that sort of stuff. So I am going to try to go in person. That is my goal.
He's going to attempt.
I'm going to attempt to attend.
What would stop you, FC?
I don't know. Laziness. I
don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to. No, I definitely want to go. So I'm going to try to go. So hopefully that'll be good for me to have a nice little vacation there. I got my passport and everything all good to go. So, I'm hoping. I'm betting it'll be in Germany. There's no way it's going to be in the U.S. or anything like that. If it's in the U.S., there'll be no doubt I'll go.
Yeah.
But I doubt it'll be in the U.S. It'll probably be in Germany, which makes sense. I'm sure it'll be somewhere in Europe at least. But yeah, so I'm excited to have that happen. So that got announced. So I was pretty pumped about that. I wish they would announce where the stupid thing is going to be, because they know.
Yeah.
They're planning months ahead for it. They know. I wish they would announce where it's going to be so I can start planning to try to go.
I know. Why wouldn't they want you to come? Maybe they're trying to keep it somewhat exclusive.
That could be the case too. I mean, well, usually they don't, because usually they have so much stuff set up. You'd think they'd want a really good turnout.
Well, is this the first year after the pandemic?
Yeah, that is true. Maybe that could also be true. Yeah, so normally it's been online. last couple years.
Okay.
But yeah, so they normally announce some pretty cool stuff there. Giants also posted a couple of new what they call fact sheets for some free stuff that's going to be coming into the game as a free DLC from Giants. There's some different grain bins, an AGI Westfield STX 1051 auger, 18,500 to buy, has 38 horsepower, holds 48 liters of fuel.
Is this something coming out that you just don't know about yet?
No, this is something that, well, it's coming out. We know about it.
Oh, okay.
But
so they're just giving you some...
They're just giving us some information
some
about it.
sprinklings of a little more sort of like, ooh,
This is coming
exciting.
soon. And then the hopper bin that goes with that. It's $24,000 hopper bin, holds 125,000 liters of grain, which is actually a pretty good deal. And then we have another bin here, 76,000. That's not a good deal for a grain bin there.
Great. Augers are really cool.
Yes, they
That was probably one of my favorite things to just stare at as a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. It's
Well,
moving the grain up.
And I like that in this photo here, it shows it actually going under the silo,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. Because normally when there's a placeable like this, the whole thing's going to be kind of solid. There's going to be a collision at the bottom. So that indicates there's not going to be any collisions at the bottom. So you got to be able to get your auger in.
Oh.
Because normally
wait, you had to like somehow weave it in there. You have to be like careful not to.
Well, this is
bump
the
it?
first this style auger bin we've had.
Oh.
At least this style where it's the first this style where you've done it this way. Like we've had bins like this where you pulled up alongside and you've been able to refill and unload and stuff like that. But to have it realistically run like this is something that we haven't
I see what you
had
mean.
before. So I'm excited about that. Did anything else happen? Oh, today, as we're recording this at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, they released a video teaser which had almost no pertinent information in it. Just a bunch of words flew up on the screen. We watched it before this for the new DLC. And there's some like little binary code on there, and the JBot, who's one of my moderators, translated it to be T-7. So potentially we'll get a new DLC announced in 7 days.
Well, it's potentially supposed to be a new brand.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, I'm sure it's gonna be a new brand. And this one, so they came out when they came out with Farming Star 22. They gave like clues to what the different DLCs were gonna be.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, there's no. Every time I quote, make sure you say clues.
Okay, continue.
In quotes, of course. But yes, they gave out like clues for it, and the clue for this DLC that we're about to get was "This will drive you crazy." That's it.
Oh,
That's our clue.
it's gonna drive you crazy.
Yeah, we have no idea what it's going to be, and that's the.
What brand remains that has not been created?
I'm sure there's hundreds of brands that we don't have.
So maybe they're like introducing a brand that's renowned for being terrible.
Gosh, I hope
Always
not.
breaks down. It's like incredibly accurate breakdown collisions.
There's this really cheap tractors that you just order them online and you assemble them. They're in a box and they just always break. This is terrible.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like DIY tractors. You can have mismatched size tires on it.
They sent you the wrong ones. Like, oh, no. They sent me the wrong
I
part.
can't afford to replace them, so I guess I have to farm like this.
Your tractor's at an angle.
I love that. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be funny. I doubt
It's gonna drive you crazy, though, FC.
Yeah, that would
drive you crazy.
That would drive me crazy. So I hope it's not that. Giants, if that's your plan, please change it.
Please no.
Please no. No, I'm sure it won't be that, but I'm sure they'll put a new brand. I mean, I'm curious to see what new brand they're gonna add to the game. I don't think this is gonna be that brand, but I would love to see them add Kubota at some point.
Kubota.
You ever seen the Kubotas?
Mm-mm.
Orange tractors.
Yeah.
They get more and more popular in the U.S., but I'd love to see Kubota in game. I think a lot of people would love to see Kubota in game, but they're not there right now.
They're not there.
Not there.
Wish I had Kubota. Maybe this is it.
Maybe it's it.
This is Kubota.
But why would Kubota be specific? This will drive you crazy.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just
people
like
just don't-
it's like a bunch of race cars. It's like you can drive craziness.
Yeah, we're
I
introducing the farming standard Ferrari.
I think if Giants released that, a lot of people in the community would riot. They would lose their mind. They'd be like, "This isn't a racing game. This is a racing game." I feel like I would think it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I would send Giants a message like, "Dude, that was hilarious.
That was great.
You got us all amped up. for nothing, but it was hilarious. But I think that would be pretty funny. But yeah, so anyhow, that's what we got going on as far as that goes.
Well, I mean, it was kind of vague.
Yeah, it was kind of vague.
vague.
T-7 is what that translates into.
Do you feel excited for it though?
Oh yeah, I'm super pumped.
Okay.
Even if we'll get like little small like DLCs, and people will be like, "This is lame." I'm like, I'm still excited for it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. It's like it's something new. It's like I'm happy for anything new in game. You know.
Great.
I'm happy for all that. So yeah, that's what we got. We are not going to do a crime of the week because we have 10 minutes left. So
yeah, we don't have any more time. Do we just want to go to noteworthy calls?
We can do that. Do you have any real world farming things for us?
Let's see. I was reminded this morning because it was a little bit cold outside. Back in the day, before we did
back in 1963.
Back in 1960s. No. This was when I was a child, so back in 1960s, I was not born.
Oh, right.
So in preparation for potato farming.
Oh, you guys grew potatoes even.
We grew potatoes.
Ooh.
We grew potatoes.
I have so
We would
many
also
questions.
buy whole seed potatoes that we'd have to cut down to size in order to fit into our machines. We would, throughout the, I think, winter months, we would have our employees' wives come and do like part-time work because we just needed somebody to do something monotonous in preparation for the potato farm. We would be out there in the bitter cold with potatoes coming down a conveyor belt, and I don't know if this was like standard or not, but it was the cheapest way we could do it. We would have like razor blades sticking up with the sharp side pointed towards you.
Perfect.
So you could pick up a potato and just throw it down onto the razor blade, and it would just slice it into the right size.
Huh.
So I was bored one day. That's never good.
Oh, God.
Never
Never
tell
good to-
your
yeah.
farming parents that you're bored,
Yes.
because you will be put to work. So I was bored one day, and I told my dad I was bored, and he's like, "Well, we have, a few metric tons of potatoes that need to be cut up." And I was like, "Oh, great! Like, where is it? Oh, it's outside, next to the storage bin that contains the potatoes. So the seeded potatoes, are all nice and warm and cozy in their grain bin, or they're in our storage shed." And me and Rosa and all the other employees' wives were out there. And I was the one, like, white kid out there. And for 8 hours a day, I think, for probably a couple weeks,
Holy smokes.
I was outside in the frosting cold, like, bundled up, cutting seed potatoes, listening to all of our employees' wives speaking in Hispanic and just having, like, house talk.
You had no idea what was going on.
I had no idea what was happening. I was just out there. I was like
He
8
did
years
not speak
old.
Spanish.
I did not speak Spanish.
I'm surprised he didn't pick anything up.
I don't know what my thoughts went to. I think
Yeah, what were you thinking about?
I think I was just thinking about the potatoes, because you have 1,000 potatoes coming here. You have to be mentally aware of what's happening. Because I'm an 8-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm surprised
it
you
doesn't
had
take
the
a lot to
attention
take.
span to do that. For
I'm
8
very
hours.
much introverted.
I am too.
Menial
I am too,
tasks
so that makes
I
sense.
enjoyed. Plus, I was getting paid for it.
Okay.
So
that's
most
good.
of my motivation was saving up for a GameCube.
There it is. That makes sense.
But yeah, that was for 2 weeks in winter some year, early 2000s. I was out cutting seed potato with a bunch of Hispanic women,
Nice.
and it was pretty fun.
It's the highlight of your life.
It was the highlight of my life.
I hope not.
It's hard to explain it in a story-wise fashion because I was 8, and I can't remember very well.
So
But I do remember the experience being character building.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, all the character building experiences I remember fondly.
How much potatoes a year? Like, how much space did you guys grow potatoes on? Was it every year or just like one year you decided to do it?
Pretty much every year.
Every year you guys did it.
Every year
Okay.
we did potatoes. And as far as as long as I've known, we did a lot of different other crops before I was born. But with potatoes, a few thousand acres of potato.
A few thousand.
Yeah.
A few
Thousand
thousand?
acres of potatoes.
A few thousand acres.
Suspense.
Oh gosh.
So for all of you listening, you have probably eaten our potatoes if you've been to
really?
McDonald's in the early 2000s.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they were one of our big buyers, McDonald's.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And something that people don't know about industry standard fried potatoes, they are gargantuan.
Are they
They're
really?
like edging on the side of watermelon size.
Are you serious?
When I was an 8-year-old kid, my dad would pick. We would glean after the harvest because there's still potatoes out there, and they make great mashed potatoes. But we'd eat potatoes all the time. A single potato, on average, would be about the same size as my dad's forearm, and he was a grown man. Yep.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you guys don't see the giant mutant potatoes.
We need a mod for that in Farming Simulator.
It's incredible.
If you saw those potatoes, you'd never eat a McDonald's fry again. You'd be too scared.
So when we sold the farm and we had to go start buying potatoes, I was like, what are these Pee-wee shrimp potatoes? These are the smallest, saddest things I've ever seen in my life. And it still doesn't feel right to this day because we used to just have mountains of potatoes for free. Well, semi-free. All the time. And so we had to go to the grocery store. We buy the whatever brand, normal potatoes that wouldn't start a riot of like, these GMOs are ruining our life because this potato's bigger than my baby.
Oh gosh.
That's how you feed America.
Yep, big potatoes.
You make mutant giant potatoes.
How did you harvest those? Use a machine?
Yeah.
The potato harvester can. What did it look like?
It was this big, like, 4 or 6 man platform that had a conveyor belt that would just lift the potatoes out of the dirt, and then you'd sort through them. But it honestly, like, it would dig up the potatoes, and then it just mound them onto the conveyor belt, and it was porous, so the dirt would fall through. So you'd be left with the potatoes, hopefully not the greens. That's why we had 6 people there working on the conveyor that got flat on top to pick out all the stuff that wasn't potatoes.
That makes sense.
But we run like 2 or 3 of those a year, like for a couple months to get all of our potatoes harvested.
Holy
like maybe a
smokes.
month actually.
That's such a long harvest. Well, anyone that complains about how potato farming goes in Farming Simulator, because the Farming Simulator potatoes are little bitty ones.
Mm-hmm. It's always cold. Whenever you're working with potatoes, it's cold.
It's just cold.
Yeah, because you plant in the cold and you harvest in the cold.
Huh. I'll be darned. That is interesting. I learned a lot about that. That was a good story. I like that one. I learned a lot about potatoes there. So that is a good one. I like that one. Well, to wrap it up, we'll do a noteworthy call, and then we'll call it good. We'll do a short noteworthy call, because this is a pretty good one here. So I got a call the other day. And when I say the other day, I just want to specify that means anywhere in the last, 4 years. So the other day is the last 4 years.
The other day.
The other day, yeah, the other day. Beginning of my career the other day. But no, this one was this one more recent? This one was more recent. But someone called to complain. They said, hey, I was working graveyard, so I got off at 7 a.m. And they called at 6 a.m. and they said the garbage truck came and picked up the dumpster at their apartment complex. That was the report. They said they did it so loud. They said the garbage truck intentionally revved their engines to wake them up. And I was like, no, they didn't. I was like, yes. When they picked up the garbage can, the truck was louder because it had to kick in the hydraulic lift to pick the dumpster up.
Yeah.
So it's like, but no, they weren't out there with their dump truck. Or their
person
garbage
ever
truck.
been around this before?
I don't know. They were like a grown adult, like in their 40s. A grown adult called this in.
Oh my goodness.
And so they called it in, and they were the call comments. I'm reading them, and I'm like, I was on graveyard, so it wasn't as funny at the time. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like 6 a.m. I've been working since 9 p.m. the night before. I'm like, this is the calls I get I was like, someone called 911 for this? But anyhow, so I'm reading that, and they're like, this can't happen again. This has to be stopped. Like there's like it's some sort of like
public menace.
Like a public menace.
The city disposal needs to be stopped. Picking up my trash.
And they're like in the call was like they demand a call from a law enforcement officer. So I try to call them.
You called them?
Absolutely.
You actually.
I was gonna call them and tell them their complaint was a waste of my time in the nicest way possible. No, I called them and left a message, and they never called me back.
Yeah, I probably went back to sleep.
Because
there was nothing.
Because now the garbage truck was not revving anymore, so they were able to sleep again.
What if that was a legit thing? What if?
But I was like, well, it wasn't illegal. First off, it's like it's not illegal for the garbage truck to pick up the garbage, and it's like. It's like, yes, and it's not like they pick up the dumpster every day. They pick it up once a week, probably, I'm sure, for the apartment complex.
Yeah.
It's not like they're out there every day revving their engine outside this guy's window. You know, I don't know what his deal was. Anyhow, it's just so funny. It cracked me up. So hopefully, don't call the police on loud garbage trucks, people.
If your city is functioning as it should,
it's
probably nothing to complain about.
If the waste service is doing their job, don't complain about it.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Maybe they just didn't realize that garbage had to be picked up. Maybe they have never actually seen it happen.
Maybe they just live in a fantasy world.
My magic garbage just goes away.
I put it in that bin, and the bin's bottomless, and it just eats it. Boop, boop,
it's gone.
Maybe they're living in a virtual world where their garbage just appears like logs do in Farming Simulator.
Yeah.
Boop,
gone. And cash appears.
And cash appears for their garbage.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, this was a good episode.
That was a good episode.
We didn't get to a lot, although it seemed like we went through a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of farm sim stuff to talk about as well this week. But if you guys have feedback for us, of course, leave it down in the comments. So.
I am a little bit sad we didn't get to Crime of the Week.
Crime of the Week. Oh, we'll get that one next week.
Yeah.
Theft. There's a lot to theft was going to be our Crime of the Week. We'll do theft next week. That'll be our Crime of the Week. But and by next week, we're probably gonna end up recording in the next couple days.
Oh yeah.
Because we're way behind on our this last week was just crazy for me. So we didn't get a record until today is Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Today's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
Yeah, I've had one work day.
Okay.
Because I run the normal schedule to keep you anchored.
That makes sense. I literally need that. Someone to be like,
there's 3 days.
What normal people do. Okay. But yeah, so as we record this episode right now, this is going to come out tomorrow.
Yeah, because tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah, because tomorrow's Wednesday.
Tomorrow's day.
Well, when you work as a police officer, sometimes tomorrow's yesterday and yesterday's today, and everything doesn't make sense.
Well, at least you've got 3 things that it could be. Yesterday, today, or tomorrow.
Yeah, I just know it's one of those 3 days. And when your weekend is like, people are like, I'm like, oh yeah, enjoy your weekend. And they're telling me that like a Friday. I'm like, I work the next 2 days. Lame. Yeah,
lame.
Now my new schedule is I work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on swing shift. So I work midnight, or no, not midnight I work from 2 p.m. to midnight. And so I'll have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off every week, which will be nice. And this week I actually have today, Tuesday, off, as well as Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to help it, because that's just how it worked out on the schedule for adjusting to the new, because we just went into a new rotation at work. So
perfect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys, that's what we got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, let us know down in the comments what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, what you hated, what you loved. Let us know. So yeah,
I'd love to hear what you hated.
If you guys don't tell us what you hate, we're just gonna keep doing it.
Exactly.
Okay? It's your own fault.
That's when we go to 12 views.
Yeah, it's your fault that you hate it. If you hate this podcast, it's your own fault. I can't do anything else.
There's nothing I can do. I just can't figure it out.
Yeah. Anyhow,
thanks everybody
for watching. Yeah. Anyhow, guys. Yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. So hope you guys enjoyed.
Bye bye.